Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Iblis Manifestations Podcast. This channel features lengthy off-limits conversations with various different artists and entrepreneurs, predominantly from the underground metal scene. We take deep dives into the topics of life, music, spirituality, and take insight from a variety of thought-provoking perspectives from personalities who you don't often hear from in a mainstream settings. I am your host, Cheyenne, and I was originally born and raised in Iran and currently reside in the UK. I am the frontman and founding member of the black death metal band TRIVAX, who have been active since 2009. The band originally started in the Islamic Republic of Iran, where such type of music is banned as well as a punishable offense. You can check the band's pages for any updates on tour dates as well as new music. I am also a personal trainer and an online fitness coach who specializes in people achieving the best versions of themselves physically and mentally. Having been someone who was once extremely out of shape and overweight, I find it to be my duty to be able to pass on the information and knowledge which I've gained to help others achieve the same transformation. The Iblis Manifestations Podcast also features a variety of solo episodes where I discuss personal experiences and anecdotes in a very candid fashion, covering everything from mental health, spirituality, philosophy, and even paranormal experiences. This is the Iblis Manifestations Podcast. To support it, be sure to subscribe to the channel and visit the link in the descriptions.
It's great talking to you, Cheyenne, really. And best of luck to your endeavors with this podcast. I think it's a great initiative.
You're my favorite person to talk to for interviews and stuff. So I love what you're espousing out here. I love the knowledge and the perspectives that you're curating through this, and I'm just so honored to be a part of it. Thank you.
As I told you, it was one of the most interesting interviews I've ever had, because we talk a lot more things than just music, and I really appreciated that.
I respect you deeply, and it's an honor to be here.
And friends, remember as always, better to die on your feet than to live on your knees. Enjoy the podcast.
But I went there a year ago when my friends in the band Youth Code opened there for a Swedish band called Kite. So cool. I was there in September of that year, and really wanted to play there even more. And then I knew what they were gonna play, and then we got invited during the summer, and it was special. It was cool in many ways, I guess. It's just to have a band like Watain being able to play a place like that. It's a big place. I think if it sells out, it's like 7,000, I guess. Open air kind of place, and obviously they didn't sell 7,000 tickets, but it was still a good amount of people there, and I think it's just very cool that a black metal band can do that.
Yeah, right.
So,
yeah,
and then we got to be a part of it, which was great, and it was fun. It was, like you said, it was our first show with some of the new songs and everything else that's going on. So it was special. It was a good start, I guess, for what we're doing now and what we're gonna do for a while now.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was very cool just to be there, because obviously when you first go in, you're initially on top of the hill upon the entrance, and then you have to kind of turn left to go around to the place, and then it kind of brings you into it. And just looking down at the crater and the stage from above, it's absolutely crazy. And I mean, I've never seen a venue like that before, ever.
No.
I know there's this other place in the USA called the Red Rocks, which I've kind of heard similar things about.
It's at the place in Colorado somewhere.
I think it is. I think it is. Yeah, I think Cannibal Corpse played there maybe earlier this year or last year, sometime within the last year or so. And that looks kind of cool. But the only other one I can think of is obviously Dalhalla in Sweden, you know. And you're so right in saying that how fucking cool it is having a black metal band playing in a place like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually big, you know, pop stars in Sweden and maybe Europe or Kids play there and bands like that. Bigger bands.
That's right. You know, one thing that kept popping to my head, I don't know what's your thoughts on this. I was thinking that if Bathory were to have ever played a live show, that would have been the perfect place.
Yeah.
You know?
Very much so. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful place.
Yeah. Was there anything that was kind of like different in terms of sound, in terms of anything? Because I noticed the stage was also really high up from what I could see as well.
No, well, let me think. We have a bunch of new gear now that we use for the tour we just did, but I don't think we didn't use that. It was basically what we always do, and we have the same front of house as Watain does. This stolen from us. So Jamie Elton.
Jamie, yeah. And Jamie does a great fucking job. I mean, he makes everyone sound great. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So it was just same old, really.
Absolutely. Okay, very cool, man. Well, it was really great to see the show, and it was particularly cool hearing some of the new songs. So this is, I guess, it's kind of cool. This is what's really cool about you being back on Iblis Manifestations right now. So the last time you and I spoke, well, at least on here, that was, I think, just around the time when the EP was coming out, you know, which was early 2023, I believe.
And that's all right.
And a part of our conversation, I don't know if you recall this, but we were talking about, obviously, Tribulation using clean vocals in the future, because what you kind of said to me, and I'm paraphrasing what you said, but you said something to the effect of, you had kind of, at least creatively, hit the ceiling of what you could do musically with that style, basically, you know, which by that point, you're already 5 albums in, you know. I guess the first one's kind of death metal, it's different, but then, you know, you kind of like, I could see your point and where you were coming from, and I appreciated you being so candid about it. So, flash forward a year and a half later, the new record comes out, and, you know, that's Sub Rosa in Æternum, and what a fucking album. Holy shit. And I would actually say to you, and I'm not just saying this because it's good PR or whatever, I would say that I would already probably place this in like maybe top 3 Tribulation records. And top 2 or 3 maybe, you know, and obviously I like all your records, but there's just something about this one, I don't know, man, it feels so much more free and more honest compared to, not saying that, again, that the other stuff wasn't that, but it just feels like it's so much more free-flowing. I mean, how did that decision come, first of all, to kind of go towards this creative direction? Was it just like a natural progression, or what was it, really?
I appreciate hearing that. We didn't know going in that we were going to do this. Going into to writing the songs, we knew we had to, to ourselves at least, we had to do something. We wanted to do something. We didn't want to stand in the same spot that we've been in for almost 10 years. I mean, since The Children of the Night came out in 2015, I think. And the 2 albums after that, they don't sound the same, but they are similar. So we knew we wanted to do something else, something fresh, I guess. But we didn't plan the clean vocals. And what happened was that Johannes, the singer, he wrote the last song on the album, Poison Pages, and he did a demo version of it and sent it to us, and he was singing on it, which was a surprise to all of us. And I don't think we really knew what to do with it, or we didn't know what to do with it at first. I liked it. I saw the potential in his voice, but it's a big step. It's a step that I never thought we would take for a long time. But after a while, after listening to it a lot, I think we all got kind of excited about the possibilities. And this was after we started writing. We already had a few songs, so we didn't really know what to do, I guess, with how much clean vocals we were gonna have on the album, and being a bit hesitant about it all at first, I guess. But then we met up frequently. We all had our own ideas about songs. We all made demos, and then we met up frequently to work on the songs. And we tried the clean vocals on some, on like Saturn Coming Down, for instance. And we already had the verses on that, and we tried it with clean vocals and didn't really work out. So we kept them as they were. But then when we all had kind of landed in that we were actually doing it, that really opened up a lot for us, I'd say. Terrifying, but also very liberating at the same time. And by making that decision, we were able to do things that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. We wouldn't have had songs like Hungry Waters or Reaping Song or Murder in Red.
I think Hungry Waters is my favorite one from the album, actually.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great one. Joseph song. And when he showed that to me the first time, I loved it, but I was like, well, how are we gonna do this? We can't, scream over this. I mean, we could try, but it's probably not gonna work. But then we went back when he sent us that demo, and when we landed, I guess, in that decision, a song like that made sense. It was still for a while like feeling like we were taking it a bit too far, but the more we worked on it, the closer to the actual recording we came. I think we just forgot all about that and just went for it and didn't really think about it. I think almost the entire recording session, we just, because I guess we thought we'd found whatever we were doing on this album, and it was fun. It was really, it was a good time in the studio. Again, terrifying and really nerve-wracking as well, but also a good time, which is rare, I guess, to some extent.
Sure. Well, I can imagine there's a lot of pressure. If there's one thing I can say, man, I mean, absolute credit to Johannes, because his singing sounds fucking great on the album.
Yeah.
I was almost like, oh shit, so this is what it sounds like. What took him so long? Like this sounds great, And
we didn't know either. I mean, I've heard him sing obviously before on like sound check or whatever, or
sure
singing.
But the thing is that even when you guys did the songs live, like I recall you playing Saturn Coming Down in Dalhalla. Now remember, that sounded great live, so it's not like there's some kind of weird trickery happening just to make it happen in the studio. Still sounds just as good live, actually, if not even better. And I can understand the trepidations because I'm aware that you're someone of an old school ilk, if you will. And I know that there's like a little bit of a line with having distorted vocals and clean vocals that we just kind of normally don't cross because you kind of relate that to like the more 2000s, like new metal kind of shit that I think our people kind of stay away from a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't listen to a single band that does it.
Yeah. Exactly. But I think the way you guys implemented it worked out really well because it suits the songs, and I can appreciate like logistical nightmares as well. Is that you're an establishment with 5 albums already, and usually, even though reinvention is essential for artistic integrity and just maintenance in general, a lot of bands, when they suddenly change sounds, it kind of goes shit as well. So I think that there's that kind of worry as well. But I think you guys absolutely pulled it off. And what's great is that because it's got both parts, you can still play the old stuff, play it exactly how it is, make it sound great, and you can play the new stuff, and that'll still sound great also. And I think that's that's probably worked out quite well, really.
Yeah, and we did the tour now in North America with Opeth, and we played songs from The Formulas of Death next to like Hungry Waters, and somehow it works. It works, at least for us. It seemed to work for the audiences as well. So yeah,
absolutely. And I think that one of the things with that is that's what's cool about it is when you get to kind of go back in time and maybe bring back something that you did, I don't know, like however many years ago, and like 10 years ago, I guess Formulas came out, 2012 was it when it came out?
Yeah, 13. I think we recorded in 12. Yeah, 13, I think.
There you go. So when you get to kind of bring that back in, after like however many years, like 11 years or something, and then it still somehow sits well next to the other stuff. I can't remember. You played that song that's got that really cool riff.
Right. Yeah. We did in Dalhalla. Yeah.
That's right. Ronda. That's the one. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, we played Suspiria de Profundis now in the US.
Cool.
Really,
also good
really long song. Yeah, it's great playing live as well. Spontaneous applause. We had.
Yes.
That was good.
That's
Every show.
Man. Yeah, absolutely. Another thing I kind of appreciated as well is that you haven't just updated the sound, but it's also the aesthetic as well, So like the logo looks different, the album cover looks different, the stage gear, the costumes look different, and but it also feels natural. But also at the same time, what it does is that kind of opens new doors as to like kind of how far you could push this, because now you can be someone who doesn't even listen to metal, but then you listen to Tribulation, and that being a totally positive thing at that.
That's right. Yeah, that was the thing again. I mean, like I said, with the music, we wanted to do something else, something new. And, we haven't really updated the costumes that much, I guess, when thinking of it, but it's the little details, I guess, that make it seem like it's a big change. I mean, I'm just thinking of what I'm wearing or what I've been wearing now for the tour, and I think the same in Dalhalla. It's just leather pants, the same boots I've been wearing on stage for 10 years. A shirt, it's white now instead of black.
So it's more the white shirt that I was referring to, yes.
Yeah, but it's a subtle change, it's a small change, but it makes a lot of impact, I guess. And I guess a lot of people thought we dropped the paint. We didn't. We're still using that. But I've seen a lot of people writing that oh, they dropped the paint, because we had one photo shoot without the paint, and we've done that like always. We have plenty of photo shoots in the past without makeup, but
I was gonna say I've seen that.
Yeah, I guess with all of the other changes, people thought like, okay, this is something new. But yeah, we do still have that actually. Let's see when we drop it.
Absolutely. Well, this is the thing though. That's actually a good thing, I think, because like I kind of said earlier, you'd kind of need reinvention as an artist to keep it interesting, you know, like, and this is the difficult position of, like, for example, when I had Gottfried Amen on here, you know, from Poga, and obviously used to play in Solitude, he kind of, the thing that I learned from listening to him, and I know you guys used to be bandmates back in the day with Repugnant, the thing that I learned from listening to him was that one of the things that was kind of at least off-putting to them was this whole music industry element of having to repeat yourself, having to go on stage and you know, like playing all these songs that you've already performed a million times and sticking to the same style that you have to stick to, you know, and there's like a little bit of a contradiction between wanting to be an artist and a musician that's original and authentic, and also trying to feed this sort of industry machine, you know, that you have to kind of appear a certain way to just to make it work. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you don't have to though.
Sure. Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
But I mean, playing live, playing the old songs, I guess you don't have to do that, but it's probably a good idea to play some old songs. I wouldn't want to go see, I don't know, most bands playing only, you know, stuff from the latest album. But I mean, I see his point for sure, and it can be. It can be a bit, I don't know, can't find the words, but difficult, I guess, when you're an idealist and an artist with integrity, I guess, to be in this contemporary industry of, I mean, especially more and more nowadays with like social media, and I mean that's everything. That's everything now. And I'm having a very hard time adapting to that as well, because I'm not a social media kind of guy. I even have my own now that I tried to, you know, keep up, but I can't even do that. So, but I'm trying my best with Tribulation, I guess. But it's difficult. It's things you don't want to do. It's things that growing up when we did, I mean, that wasn't the part of the plan to constantly, you know, email people and promote yourself daily.
Yeah.
So I absolutely understand that point, and it can get a bit nauseating, I guess, sometimes because of that. That's not what you want to do. You want to write music, you want to record music, you want to play music. And that's pretty much it. But that's not really what bands are doing most of the time. So it's that is difficult, but it's a reality. It's a reality. It's something that is just the way it is now. You don't have to. Of course, you can do it your own way. You can go super underground and try to build a network that way, I'm sure. And I would encourage anyone to do that. But if you want to be a band, and if you want to continue to grow as a band, that's probably not a good idea. But it is difficult. I find it very difficult too.
Yeah. And you know what? That's actually kind of nice and refreshing to hear that from you, in the sense that you're obviously Tribulation are obviously a very, very well respected band, you know, and I think that a lot of people probably, that's something that resonates with them, you know, and I'm sure that, yeah, you know, you want to pick up a guitar and conquer the world and kick ass, not go on Instagram and like and reply to every comment because it works better for the algorithm, you know?
Yeah. Scheduled posts.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, I listen, I do appreciate that. And, you know, but I think that's the kind of world that we're living in right now. But that's also how there are younger bands that, you know, I'm not even saying that they're not good, but back in the day, usually being an older band would mean that you have the upper hand. But now you have younger bands that are trying to compete with the likes of, like, I don't know, like Exodus on social media, you know, they're like, oh, you know, we're trying to get more followers, and they've not even been around anywhere near as long, and they can get a similar level of relevance. Obviously, this will take years still to build, but because of that social media thing, it's kind of like there's a different tune that everyone has to dance along to just to get to where they want to get to. Does that make sense?
Yes, and they know it.
Yeah.
This is what they've been growing up with. This is their world. And you know, sure. I was talking to my son. He's 15 now and is getting into metal. And you know, when we were kids, we would, I mean, a cool thing would be to discover a new band and finding like a demo or a 7-inch or something like that. But what they're doing now is they can see each other's what they are streaming, I guess.
Oh yeah, like the playlist on on Spotify and stuff.
And exactly how much they've listened to the things. So that's what they're bringing to the table now. I've listened to this album this much because it's all there.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to find anything. It's all there. So they're finding new ways to, you know, impress their peers, and that's apparently to listen a lot to every kind of album, which is kind of cool. I mean, I would have loved to have access to everything that they have access to now when I was a kid as well, I guess. But it's a different thing.
The thing with that is that, and this becomes more of a philosophical question for me, I feel, because I think that, you know, when you only have limited access to something, you automatically want it more, like you want to pay more attention to it. Like if you've only got the one album in front of you, you've got the LP, you've got the cover to look at. When you're listening to the music, you don't have a million reels or interviews of the artist online to look up. You only have that one vinyl in front of you. So all you can look at is just the pictures on the back or the album cover and the lyrics. And that's all that you're getting from the artist. And when you're getting that, you have to use your imagination to almost receive that communion from the music that's being displayed there. You have to use your imagination, you know, oh, so this guy must really, you know, like sacrifice pigeons every night, you know, and sleep in a coffin and everything, you know, like, so you kind of have that. And I think that there's two sides to that. So as a consumer, you have to pay more attention, but the more you have to pay attention, the more rewarding the listening experience becomes. Okay. On the other side of the token, when you've got everything available via streaming, you'll listen to lots of different new bands and stuff, and that's great, but a lot of that detail gets lost, and you're sort of like, oh, this is just another band. Oh, this is just another band. Oh, this is just another band. You know, you don't create as much of a personal relationship with it, if you will. And I think that's kind of that's a tragic thing, you know, because I think our genre is capable of a lot more than just streaming numbers, if you will.
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, you'd even read the thank you list. You'd know, like, the thank you lists.
Right. That's where you discover all the other bands.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Morbid Angel thanking, like, Mozart, and like kind of getting away with it. Wow, they're so sophisticated.
Yeah.
It's the mystery is gone, I guess.
Absolutely.
To some extent.
It's funny you mentioned Morbid Angel. I remember from when you and I were talking before, and you were saying how it was weird because David Vincent, I think it was in in Domination, where I got my finger on the trigger, and you're like, trigger, what? Yeah, Morbid Angel don't think about guns.
Exactly. That was always weird. And then I guess Trey thought the same, and then did Formulas Fatal to the Flesh. There are no guns in that.
yeah. Well, that's a pretty good fucking album, actually.
Oh yeah.
I'm a really big fan of those Steve Tucker records with Morbid Angel. Yeah,
they're great.
Yeah.
Even awesome, I think.
I was just about to say, even though Heretic is so overlooked, because obviously it didn't sell as many copies, and there was like
a weird sound.
Yeah, sure, but that's a fucking great record. Yeah,
songs are awesome. We had just listened to it in the tour bus. The tour bus, we had like an RV.
Nice.
It was horrible, but we listened to that. We listened to a lot of it, but and I hadn't listened to it in a while. And I was kind of surprised I knew every song.
Yeah.
And I didn't think I would. We had a lot of Morbid Angel worship on that tour.
Oh, that's good. That's a proper tour right there. My favorite song from Heretics is Drum Check.
Exactly.
Can I have some kick drum, please?
I remember being super impressed by that one when it came out.
Man, I remember I was still in Iran. I was like 15 years old, and I kept showing that song to my friends. I was like, listen to this. This is the craziest drumming I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was the song that I kept coming back to. Like I'm kind of joking saying that's my favorite because it's not really a song, but it's just fucking unbelievable. I saw Pete Sandoval. So we played in Italy just around 2-3 months ago, and Terrorizer were playing. And I got to see them from side stage. And Pete is like, he's just as good now. I don't know how the fuck he does it. He's like literally like a drum god, if there ever was one.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw I Am Morbid earlier this year.
Oh yeah.
And we played Brutal Assault, I think it was. And we just realized that they were also playing. So we caught like the last, I don't know, 2 songs or something, and we were really far from the stage, and we thought it sounded really good. So then I played with the heavy metal band that I play with now, TYRANN.
TYRANN, yes, I was going to ask you about that. We'll come to that.
Yeah, we played Keep It True, and they played as well. And I went in there being super pumped, but it didn't really work for me.
All right.
I had to take a break. I had to go out and rethink my life a bit.
Right, so what was it about it? Was it because obviously
I don't know.
Was it the guitarist?
Yeah,
that's kind of
probably.
the part where it's the most different, I guess.
Yeah, maybe when they both took their shirts off at the same time.
Right.
They did that.
Okay.
A bit too much. And Morbid Angel is so, sacred almost to me. So it was, I don't know. They stepped over a few lines there, I think. I'll give it more choice, of course. But the first time was not very good for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's it's one of those things. I saw I Am Morbid, I think, in Manchester in 2022. It was actually funny because they were playing the same night as Ghost playing Manchester Arena, and I had to make the call to go see I Am Morbid because I'd never seen Pete Sandoval before, and I missed out on Ghost. Apologies. Mr. Forge. But it was a really good show, and to me, I was just like, fucking holy shit! I'm seeing this in person.
Yeah, he's playing super well.
Yeah,
still.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But it was still that thing with the guitarist, because it's like Trey is an irreplaceable human being. Like you can't just, like you can't. And I kind of get this feeling that maybe they approach it like, oh, let's just get some guys that are, they're high energy, they're entertaining, they can put on a good show, blah, blah, blah. But
yeah,
I think,
and one
like
of them
you said,
kind of like dancing. Got that
yeah,
going
sure.
for him, I guess.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Again, it's Morbid Angel, and it's you can't just, to me at least, do just anything with it, I guess.
Well, what's your favorite Morbid Angel record?
I don't know. Covenant, maybe.
Oh,
Probably
cool.
Covenant. Yeah.
I'm surprised by your response. I thought you would have given just like the edgelord answer, Altars of Madness, and then just like be like, oh yeah, old school. But Covenant, cool. I mean, that's a fucking phenomenal record, man. That's undoubtedly.
It's just, I mean, they all are, to be honest. But the up to Heretic, at least, I love them. But yeah, probably Covenant. But I can give you an edgelord answer but my favorite recording is probably
sure.
the Thy Kingdom Come.
Okay.
So yeah, that's also just perfection to me. We had we met the guys in Blood Incantation in Denver now, and nerded out. That was I think that was the beginning of that Morbid Angel party that would then took to the bus and continued with Heretic there after a while.
Right, I see. It all makes sense now.
They're all. That was a good night. It's not every day you meet people who like something you like as much as you like it. So that was good.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's interesting that you say that, I mean, obviously for me as well, personally, I would actually, interestingly enough, I would probably say Covenant's probably my favorite as well. But also I would say that obviously the Scream Forth Blasphemies is also, that's like, you can't fucking replace that shit. It's just it's so early for the time that it came out. I think they were onto something that was so ahead of their own time. I don't think they had any clue of what they were sitting on back then in like 1987, right?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I've always held like the Blessed Sick really up there as well, and Altars, of course, but
sure.
And Formulas.
Yeah.
Probably all of those. I love Domination as well, but and Gateways is also super, but it's not as good, I think, as the albums before. But still very good. Still very good.
Sure.
They're all
absolutely.
Great.
Yeah. Those guys never failed back in the day, man. So tell us a little bit about TYRANN, then, this heavy metal band that I know it's you and Joseph that are a part of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's the singer and bass player, Tobias. It's his band.
Mm-hmm.
And he's made these like smaller like projects before. He had a band called Terminal, I guess, that did like I think it was the drummer from Enforcer, Jonas, who was singing, and they wanted it to be very like Eastern European, and not to mock it, but because of genuine like love for that type of metal. But they were singing in Slovenian, I think, or Slovenian, I guess. Google translate, I suppose. But it's
Right.
super good. And then he started this TYRANN band as well. And it was Joseph was a part of it, and our old drummer, Jacob, who was on the Formulas of Death and the Children of the Night.
And Children,
he's also a part of it. And then he just asked me if I wanted to play on like a couple of recordings. And then I've been playing live. But it's one of those bands that's for me, it's just a pleasure doing it because I'm not involved with anything.
Right.
I just show up and play. And that's it.
That's a good feeling. That's a good feeling. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's very good. It's very good. So we've been doing that now. I don't know for how long, but we've had a couple of, or a few shows, and I think that we're going to keep it at that level, just doing a few festival shows like a year. And it's just a great thing to, I mean, love hanging out with the boys, and we're having a very good time, to be honest, traveling around and playing heavy metal and having a good time. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I imagine, because the thing is as well, there's so much invested in Tribulation. There's probably a lot of expectations, there's pressure, but there's also, it's something that you have been doing for a very long time now. You've been doing Tribulation for a very large portion of your life and existence, if you want to look at it dramatically like that, but it's true.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's probably nice, it's not to take away from it, but it's probably nice just to have a break of showing up at a gig and playing guitar, doing what you're good at, playing tunes that are fun, and just having a good time. I guess it breaks it up a bit.
Not even changing, just walking onto the stage.
Right.
No.
Yes.
Maybe I'll change my t-shirt or whatever, but that's it. I've never done that before. Even with like Enforcer, we'd always change into like the costume. So it's very like punk, I guess, DIY kind of band, and it's just perfect for the contrast, really. Yeah.
I listened to some of the stuff actually, and it sounds great. I really vibed with it, and I urge people to go and check out the band, and hopefully those festivals will keep coming in for you, man. Because I relate to what you're saying, because obviously I've got my own band TRIVAX, but I got asked to go and do some session guitars for this UK band Deitus, and I just do the odd festivals and stuff with them. And they asked me to go and play Bloodstock here in the UK. I know you guys have played Bloodstock as well.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh yeah, we're opening main stage." I'm like, "Okay, that'll be quite cool." And then we went there and did a fucking G.G. Allen cover on stage, and it was like the most amount of fucking fun ever, playing G.G. Allen on a stage that fucking big. It was just like, fuck it, But it's nice not having all the responsibility of everything that comes with it, and sometimes, the way I look at it is that it's nice to have a bit of emotional distance from your work as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's been going really well. I mean, we did our first show at the festival Muskelrock in Sweden. That's been around since 2009, I think. Played the first one with Enforcer, like mainly trad metal bands, old bands and new bands. And that show was just incredible. First show, and like the whole audience was just singing along to every song. And
that's fucking cool.
We sold so much merch, and since then, pretty much every show has been similar to that one, which is insane. I've never been through anything like that before.
And especially for a new band as well. That's fucking crazy, but cool. Yeah, it's great to see that.
Very strange. And it's fun, going to like Greece or France or whatever, and a lot of the lyrics are in Swedish, but they're all singing along anyway, which is great.
That's fantastic. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, if TYRANN kind of takes off a little bit further than where it is now, becomes a touring band and stuff, is that something that you would entertain, that idea?
I don't think we will though. But if we would, if it worked with the Tribulation schedule, I'd probably do it. Yeah. If not, then no, absolutely not.
Of course, because Tribulation is still, that's kind of like, I hate the term, but it's the first thing that comes to my mind. But it's still your day job, technically, right?
Yeah, or it's my main. It's my main thing in life.
Main thing in life. That sounds a lot better than a day job. That's definitely.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
work. I do other things for money. So
of course.
Well, so yeah.
Okay, killer. Well, it'll be cool. I like to see TYRANN live at some point, actually, in person, and yeah, I think it would be cool. And yeah, and also very much looking forward to seeing Tribulation. So you guys are gonna be coming here. What is it? Next February? Is it you guys are coming around?
Yeah, exactly. Let me get the dates up.
All right.
We're having a few shows in the UK. We are coming in February. Yeah, Manchester, London, Glasgow, Birmingham, and Leicester. Yeah.
Killer. I think I'll be coming to the I live far away from all of those, but I'll definitely be at least at the Birmingham one, I think.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I know the venue. So when you're in Manchester, are you gonna pay the good old Trafford a visit as well whilst you're there?
Yeah, if I have time, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't checked the schedule for them. If they're playing, that would be awesome. Do we have like a day off maybe? No, of course we don't.
Have you been to Old Trafford before in person?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? Wow. No. You should go, man. You should go, because I know I kind of discovered that you're a Man United fan last time I saw you in person, and
right.
yeah, that's it. And which I was like, oh wow, this is an interesting anecdote. But if you've never been to Old Trafford, because my dad's a big Man United fan as well. We went there like quite a few years ago, but it's a magnificent place, man. You maybe need like a whole day of it just to go, especially if you've got a little bit of extra few bucks on you, just to go and have a look at the museum and stuff there. I think there's a lot of stuff for you to check out. Yeah.
One day, probably not this time. I'll probably go there if I can, but yeah, I'd love to go to a match as well.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Amazing. Well, on that note, Adam, it's been a real pleasure. Fuck yeah, football. That's it. No, that was just because when we were all hanging out at that Travelodge, and then you were telling me that you were a big fan, and I think you guys had kind of had a bit of a bad night as well. I kind of I felt a little sorry, and
we had a bad night. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think you guys.
We were drinking a lot of ciders.
No, not you as the band, but Manchester United had a bad night. I think it was right.
Yeah. There's plenty of bad nights. Manchester United. So.
There you go. Yeah, I think it was like a 3-0 to someone or something, but we won't bring that up. That's okay. That's it. Amazing. Well, listen, man. Absolutely, congratulations on the success of Tribulation. Really, really happy to see it. Like I said, I've been rooting for you guys since Formulas came out, and obviously now you guys are still kicking ass, and yeah, very happy to see it. Congratulations on the release of the new album. It sounds fucking great. And lastly, I'm really looking forward to seeing you live in February.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Looking forward to playing Europe again. It's been a while, to be honest.
Absolutely. Yeah, when I saw you in so I've seen you twice this year. I saw you in London in March, then Dalhalla in August, but obviously now I'm a little more familiar with the new album stuff, so it'll be even better to see it again.
And of course we're going to be playing some more songs from the new album. Because we're headlining, so we have time.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that tour. I'm looking forward to see what we can come up with in the time from now until then. So let's see. Should be good at least.
If I'm not mistaken as well, it's been quite a while since you did a headline run in Europe as well, right?
Yeah, I think the last time we did it was I don't know, maybe when we played with Gaul, that was like a co-headline thing. So it just a headline thing, I can't even remember. So yeah.
And you're probably a much bigger band now than you were back then as well, so there'll probably be a difference.
Hopefully.
Which is good.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. I have no idea.
Amazing, man. Well, really looking forward to it. Hope everything goes well, and best of luck with this album, man. All right.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let's on to the next one.
Hell yeah. Nice one. And to everyone listening to the episode, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Check out Tribulation's newest record, and be sure to catch him on the road. See you on the next episode.